This video is for educational use only. Our instructor, Mr. Roldan Erdines, is allowing our group to use this as an educational material.
Hello everyone, we are the group 2 and our topic is about Asian regionalism. I am Decadeta Morete and today I will be talking about what is Asian regionalism. Asian regionalism refers to the process of countries in Asia coming together to promote cooperation, integration, and mutual support within the region. It can take various forms such as economic, political, or security cooperation. Asian regionalism is a term used to describe the growing trend of countries in Asia coming together to foster closer cooperation and integration in various aspects, including economics, politics, security, and culture. This regionalism is driven by a desire to address common challenges, promote economic growth, and enhance stability in the region. In Asia, regionalism is a development attracting and growing international interest. It is characterized by plurality and contest. The building of regional institutions is not only a response to the need for practical cooperation in commercial, security, and other matters, but is also shaped by specific national interests and national rivalries, and by different ways of thinking about region. Tension between the People Republic of China and Japan is one dangerous dynamic in Asia, and territorial disputes in the South China Sea have brought tension to China's relations with a number of states of the Association of Southeast Asian, or what we call ASEAN. Why Asian regionalism important? Asian regionalism can help to sustain global economic progress at a time when other regions are reaching economic maturity. Regionalism encourages local governments to pool resources, talents, and efforts. Collaborating in this way creates more effective planning that all governments, both big and small, can participate in. It also creates a larger budget to deliver stronger results.
Regionalism refers to the trend of countries in Asia coming together to foster cooperation, integration, and collaboration within the region. There are several reasons for the emergence of Asian regionalism. Examples: number 1, economic interdependence. Asian countries recognize the benefits of economic integration. By forming regional trade agreements and economic blocs, they aim to promote trade, investment, and economic growth. Number 2, security concerns. Asia is home to diverse security challenges, including territorial disputes and geopolitical tensions. Regional organizations and alliances can help manage these issues and promote stability. Number 3, cultural and historical ties. Many Asian countries share cultural and historical ties which can serve as a basis for closer cooperation. These commonalities can help foster a sense of unity and identity. Rising influence. Number 5. Asian countries like China, India, Japan, and South Korea have grown in influence on the global stage. They seek to assert themselves regionally and globally through regional organizations and initiatives. Number 6, infrastructure development. Infrastructure projects such as the Belt and Road Initiative by China promote connectivity and development across Asia. This encourages regional cooperation. Number 7, soft power and diplomacy. Soft power, including cultural exports and diplomacy, plays a role in promoting regionalism. Countries use diplomacy to build relationships and partnerships. Number 8, economic opportunities. Asia offers to significant economic opportunities due to its large consumer base in emerging markets. These attract countries to engage in regional initiatives to tap into these opportunities. Number 8, globalization. Globalization has made regional cooperation increasingly important as countries seek to address shared challenges like climate change, health crisis, and technology development. In summary, Asian regionalism is driven by a combination of economic, security, cultural, and geopolitical factors as countries in the region recognize the benefits of working together to address common challenges and seize the opportunities.
Good day. I am Cadet Rebusura Kyle Jacob, and I'm going to discuss about the various factors of regionalism. Regionalism refers to the strong attachment people have to their own regions, often resulting in a sense of identity, loyalty, or presence for the region over others. Several factors contribute to the emergence and persistence of regionalism. Number one is historical factors. Historical events, conflicts, and cultural developments can shape regional identities. Historical grievances or shared experiences can foster a sense of regional solidarity. Number two, cultural differences. Distinct languages, traditions, customs, and cuisine can create a sense of cultural uniqueness within a region, leading to regionalism. Number three, economic disparities. Economic disparities between regions, such as variations in wealth, employment, opportunities, and infrastructure, can fuel regionalism as people seek to protect or promote the region's interests. Number four, political factors. Regionalism can be influenced by political factors, including autonomy or devolution of power to regional governments or movements advocating for greater political independence. Number five, geographic features. Geography, including natural boundaries like mountains, rivers, or coastlines, can contribute to a region's isolation and foster a unique regional identity. Number six, ethnic and tribal ties. Ethnic or tribal affiliations can be strong drivers of regionalism as people identify with their ethnic or tribal group and its geographic concentration. Number seven, historical grievances. Past injustices or perceived unfair treatment by the central governments can lead to regional grievances and subsequently regionalist movements. Now we move on to number eight, which is economic interests. So regions with specific economic interests such as agriculture, industry, or tourism may prioritize policies that benefit their economic sector, leading to regionalism. Now we move on to number nine, which is media and communication. So the media's portrayal of regional issues such as well as the spread of regional narratives through communication channels can influence regionalism. Now, number 10, political parties. Political parties that advocate for regional interests or autonomy can play a significant role in promoting regionalism. Number 11, migration. Migration patterns can influence regionalism as migrants may maintain their regional identity and interests even when living outside their native regions. Um, number Now on to number 12, which is education and language. Differences in educational systems and language can reinforce regional identities and contribute to regionalism. Number 13, environmental factors. Environmental concerns specific to a region, such as natural resource management or conservation efforts, can also foster regionalism. Now, off to the last, which is globalization. So, paradoxically, globalization can both promote and challenge regionalism. It can expose regions to global influences while also generating fears of cultural or economic homogenization. So, these factors can interact in complex ways, and the strength of regionalism can vary significantly from one region to another and change over time due to evolving circumstances and political developments. And that would be all. Thank you.
What are the advantage and disadvantage of regionalism? The advantage of regionalism is number one, economic integration. Regionalism can lead to economic integration through mechanisms like free trade agreements and custom unions. These can boost economic growth, create jobs, and increase the efficiency of trade within the region. And the second one is the political stability. It can promote political stability by fostering cooperation and reducing conflicts among member states. Shared political objectives can lead to peace and security in the region. And the third one is the increased bargaining power. Regions can negotiate with other regions of global entities from a position of greater strength, enhancing their influence on international issues. And number four is the infrastructure development. Regional projects often includes infrastructure development such as transportation and energy networks, which can improve connectivity and access to resources. And the last one is the cultural exchange. Regionalism can facilitate cultural exchange and understanding among member states and promoting mutual respect and cooperation. And the disadvantage of regionalism. Number one is the trade diversion. Regional trade agreements may divert trade away from more efficient global markets to less efficient regional ones, potentially harming overall economic welfare. And number two is the trade barriers. Regionalism can create barriers to trade with non-members countries, leading to protectionism and trade conflicts. Number three is the complexity. Managing multiple regional agreements can be complex, especially when countries are part of multiple regional blocs with conflicting regulations and requirements. Number four, inequality. Smaller and less developing countries within regional blocs may struggle to compete with larger, more advanced economies, leading to economic disparities. And number five is the sovereignty concerns. Some argue that regionalism can erode national sovereignty as member states must comply with regional rules and regulations that may not align with their own interests. And the last one is the exclusivity. Regionalism can lead sometimes exclude in countries that are not part of the region, potentially leading to geopolitical tensions.
Good day, sir. I am here to represent my report of an example of regionalism in Asia. So, one example of regionalism is the ASEAN. Yes, the ASEAN. ASEAN is one of the most important in regionalism. As an example, ASEAN has a five founding members: Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, and lastly Philippines. So, the ASEAN Declaration are to celebrate economic growth and promote regional peace and stability through abiding aspects for justice and rule of law in the relationship among countries in the region. Um, it is an intergovernmental organization of 10 Southeast Asian countries. Um, the Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and lastly Vietnam. Sorry for that. So, the goal of the Asian economic integration is to create a stable, prosperous, and highly competitive economic region to promote regional peace, cultural development in Southeast Asian region through multilateral cooperation. It also functions as a non-political platform to maintain peace and stability among its member states and external parties. So here are the examples on why ASEAN is important in regionalism. First is democracy, increase of trade, good education, infrastructure, sizable markets, competitive taxation policies, economic unions, and custom trade. The ASEAN aims to achieve the AEC by facilitating free flow of goods, services, investments, and skilled labor, free flow of capital, increasing physical, institutional, and people to connectivity to bring down the cost of doing business, narrowing the development gap both within between ASEAN members. So ASEAN is a relationship for partnership for prosperity, creating jobs. So that's all, and thank you.
What is new regionalism? First, we will talk about regionalism. What is regionalism? Regionalism is the set of principles and beliefs that leads to the formation of regions. It is usually associated with purposely projects and is led by state actors. So, what is the new regionalism? Unlike the old regionalism, which was oriented more towards interaction between states, regionalism involved a variety of state and non-state actors involved in the process of transformation of the world order. Thus, globalization affected new regionalism, which in turn participated in shaping globalization. The new regionalism is focused on export orientation, integration into world economy. Unlike the old one, they were focusing on import substitution and withdrawal from world economy. The new regionalism also focuses on market allocation of sources by private sector driven, while the old one was planned and political allocation of resources. It was government driven. It is also the new one is also all goods and services are made from investment, while the old one was primarily focused on industrial products. That would be all.
So, how does regionalization affects the globalization. So the the regionalism limits activity as it focuses on things happening in the region. It means cultural, social, economic, and knowledge exchanges with external parties are focuses on a region rather than what's outside. So the globalization thought makes you know the climate around you. You, you open your eyes and see the national economies are just a drop in the ocean, but the world is interconnected. You understand that the economy is is large, larger than one country, but capital and goods flow internationally. So this means knowing the definition enables you to find more opportunities. So, for example, um, you can live you can live in Chile but materials in Africa. Manufacture in Asia have office employees in Europe. So, uh, uh, unrealize your production in the United States. Um, for example, na ako'y usa ka negosyo clothing t-shirt din akong akong mga tela is gikan sa Indonesia but ako'y mo print diri. So like that, like inter interconnected. So that's all.
Regionalizations and globalizations are interconnected and can have both positive and negative impacts on each other. So here are some ways in which regionalizations affects globalizations. So first is reinforcement. Regionalizations can reinforce globalizations by promoting regional trade agreements and economics integrations. Regional blocks can serve as building blocks for global trade and investment. It can help create a more interconnected global economy. Second is fragmentation. On the other hand, regionalizations can also lead to fragmentations and challenges to global integrations. When regional blocs prioritize their own interests, it can result in the formations of trade barriers and hinder global trade flows. This can create challenges for global supply chains and limits the free movements of goods and services. Third is competitions. Regionalizations can create competitions between regional blocks or organizations which can affect global trade dynamics. For example, the formations of regional trade agreements like the Trans-Pacific Partnerships or TPP or the Regional Comprehensive Economics Partnerships or RCEP can impact global trade by redirecting trade flows and creating rivalries between different regions. Fourth is regulation. Regionalizations can also influence global regulatory standards. Regional blocs often establish their own regulations and standards for trade, investment, and other areas. These regional regulations can impact global trade by setting precedents and influencing global regulatory frameworks. Fifth is balancing globalizations. Regionalizations can be seen as a way to balance the effects of globalizations by focusing on regional cooperations and integrations. Countries can ensure that their specific regional interests and concerns are addressed while still participating in the global economy. So, in summary, regionalizations can both reinforce and challenge globalization. It can promote regional integrations and cooperate, but it can also create fragmentations and competitions that may impact global trade dynamics. Ultimately, the relationship between regionalizations and globalizations is complex and depends on the specific context and the actions taken by regional blocks and organizations. So that's all. Thank you.
What is regionalism in the Philippines? Regionalism has been defined as a political ideology that favors a specific region over a greater area. This is usually due to political separation, religious geography, cultural boundaries, linguistic regions, and material divisions. While positive regionalism may instill a feeling of joy and love towards one's heritage and culture, there is a threat of an excessive attachment to one's regions in preference to the country of the state. This phenomenon is often referred to as negative regionalism. In fact, regionalism has been a key feature of contemporary international relations. However, regional concentrations of ethnic minorities are positively associated with ethnic discrimination. So discrimination exists in various forms throughout the past decades. Glossy, prejudice, and stereotypes have been thrown at Bisaya people. This stems from the blatant disrespect to their culture. For example, Bisaya language used when cracking jokes or trying to make someone laugh by mimicking Visayan's native accent. On top of this, Visayans are often being conceived as ill-mannered people who are not akin to the necessities of the Tagalog language. When clearly Visayans have their own language and different dialects associated with a variety of cultures. This apparent linguistic racism causes our own people to be misunderstood and discriminated against. Let's face it, everybody knows that the Filipino language is Tagalog-centric. Despite this, other Philippine languages and dialects have been generally left out, and this is a huge hindrance for us Filipinos in getting to know our own identity and culture. And Filipinos are not limited to one island group. We must continue to advocate that a certain culture, whether it is from Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao,
The difference between regionalization and globalization. Regionalization is that the organization of Earth's surface into distinct areas that are viewed as different from other areas. It is the process of dividing the area into smaller segments called regions. It limits activity as it focuses on things happening in the region. It means cultural, social, and economic knowledge exchange with external parties are focused on a region rather than what's outside it. Free trade areas, custom unions, common markets, and economic unions. Globalization, on the other hand, is that it is the expansion of economic, political, and cultural activities to the point that they reach and have impact on many areas of the world. It is the process of international integration arising from the interchange of world views, products, ideas, and other aspects such as technology and many other etc. It makes you open your eyes and you see that national economies are just a drop in the ocean, but the world is interconnected. You understand the economy is larger than the country, but capital of goods flow internationally. This means knowing the definition enables you to find more opportunities. For example, a manufacturer assembling a product for a distant market. Like for example, a manufacturer assembling a product for a distant market. A country submitting to international law, and a language adapting a foreign loan word are all examples of globalization. You can live in Chile, buy materials in Africa, manufacture in Asia. You have office employees in Europe and realize your product in the United States. So globalization, the bottom line is that regionalization is the division of a large area, while globalization is the interconnectedness between that divided area.